Redmond Town Center. The sidewalks are busy, while the Sammamish River threads through downtown, just beyond the storefronts. Today, we're counting down what about $1.2 million buys in 5 move-up suburbs across western Washington, outside Seattle. Zillow's home value estimates from May 2026 put the medians roughly between $1.11 and $1.35 million. So this is a real step up from the $750,000 starter conversation. The trade-off is clear. Every suburb here has a median above $1.1 million, and property taxes and carrying costs scale with that tier. But 3 of the 5 still land under the $1.2 million benchmark, and the everyday amenities include waterfront downtowns, wine country, and one of Washington's signature waterfalls. Number 5 is Redmond. Redmond is the top-priced suburb, with a median home value around $1,348,109, which is roughly $148,000 past the $1.2 million mark. Walk Score rates Redmond at 86, and that number fits the feel around downtown. Redmond Town Center, everyday shopping, restaurants, and the Sammamish River corridor are all part of the central rhythm. For a move-up buyer, Redmond is the pick, where the setting is strong, but the budget needs the most discipline. The reason Redmond still belongs here is that it delivers a lot of the suburban upgrade people picture when they start looking east of Seattle. You get a real downtown district, not just a highway exit with a few stores. And the Sammamish River gives the area a softer edge than the office and retail map might suggest. At $1.2 million, though, you are shopping below the typical home value, not above it. That can mean being very specific about location, home style, and condition, rather than assuming the budget opens every door. Redmond is the ceiling check for this episode. It shows how quickly the east side can move beyond the benchmark, even before you get into the highest priced pockets. Number 4 is Woodinville. The median here sits around $1,309,850, about $110,000 over the $1.2 million line. What that buys into is a different kind of suburb. Wine country, the Sammamish River corridor, the Woodinville farmers market, and destination dining anchored by the herb farm. With a walk score of 75, Woodinville is less urban feeling than Redmond, but it still has recognizable centers of activity instead of feeling purely spread out. Woodinville's appeal at this tier is tied to how distinct it feels from the rest of the Seattle area suburbs. You are not just paying for a bedroom community. You are paying for a place where tasting rooms, restaurants, market days, and river-adjacent recreation are part of the local identity. That matters for a move-up buyer because $1.2 million is not only a housing number, it is a lifestyle comparison point. Here, the number is still short of the median, so the search has to be realistic. But if the goal is to trade a starter home setting for a suburb with a memorable center of gravity, Woodinville makes a very strong case before we reach the under-budget picks. Number 3 is Snoqualmie. This is the lowest median in the group, at about $1,105,040, leaving roughly $95,000 of room under a $1.2 million budget. The landmarks are big ones. Snoqualmie Falls is the headline, and the Northwest Railway Museum gives the town a historic anchor that is easy to recognize. The walk score is 65, so this is not the most walkable pick in the countdown, but it offers a town setting with major scenery built into everyday life. Snoqualmie is where the $1.2 million conversation starts to feel more balanced. Instead of entering below the typical value, you are above it, which gives the budget more room to work with than Redmond or Woodinville. The character is also very different. Less wine country destination, less east side downtown energy, and more foothills, river valley, and landmark landscape. That comes with a commute trade-off for many Seattle core workers, since this is a highway-oriented location rather than a quick hop across a bridge or a short urban commute. Still, for buyers comparing move-up suburbs, Snoqualmie brings the strongest under-budget cushion in the countdown, while still keeping the price tier firmly above $1.1 million. Number 2 is Bainbridge Island. The median home value is about $1,186,607, which is roughly $13,000 under the $1.2 million benchmark. Here, the setting changes completely. Winslow's waterfront shops, Puget Sound, the ferry connection to downtown Seattle, and Blodell Reserve all shape the island's daily identity. It is a suburb by geography, but the experience is not interchangeable with the East Side, the North End, or the Snoqualmie Valley. Bainbridge is the pick for people who want the move-up budget to buy into a place with a strong sense of arrival. The ferry ride across Puget Sound is part of the appeal for some and part of the scheduling reality for others, so it needs to be treated honestly. $1.2 million does not create a huge margin here, because the median is only slightly below that line. But even that small under-budget position matters, especially when the comparison includes Redmond and Woodinville running well above the benchmark. Bainbridge makes the top two because it pairs a near-target median with a setting that feels completely different from mainland suburbia. Waterfront storefronts in Winslow, public gardens at Blodell Reserve, and Seattle visible across the water without being inside the city. And number one is Edmonds. The median home value is about $1,162,699, roughly $37,000 under a $1.2 million budget. Edmonds also brings the highest walk score in the countdown, at 91, which puts its downtown experience in the same conversation as many in-city districts. The waterfront is not a background detail here. Marina Beach Park, Puget Sound views, and the Edmonds Underwater Park dive site give the shoreline a real presence. What pushes Edmonds to the top is the combination. It is under the $1.2 million mark. It has a very walkable downtown, and the water is directly woven into the town's identity rather than being a short drive away. You can talk about shops, restaurants, ferry activity, beaches, and shoreline parks without leaving the core Edmonds story. That is rare at this price tier in the Seattle suburbs, where many strong options require either pushing well beyond the benchmark or giving up some walkability. Edmonds still comes with the same honest move-up realities as the others. This is a million-plus market, and carrying costs matter. But for the specific question of what about 1.2 million buys outside Seattle, Edmonds gives the cleanest mix of price position, downtown character, and Puget Sound access. So, the five are Redmond, Woodinville, Snoqualmie, Bainbridge Island, and Edmonds. At $1.2 million, the choice is really about which everyday setting matters most. Every number in this video is sourced, with links in the description. Which neighborhood would have made your top 5? If this helped, tap like and subscribe, and tell me what Seattle area price point or suburb matchup you want next.